Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, it might be afternoon by the time you watch this, but I wanted to drop by really quickly and share some of the notes from my client strategy call the other day. One of the things that I do when I'm not producing video content for my clients or, living my life, I am doing video strategy for my clients. So we're on the phone figuring out what is the business behind this content? How am I making sure that I'm intentional and strategic and not just creating content to put it out there, but that there's a plan behind it essentially. So that is what I do with my clients. And so I just wanted to share, a little insight into a client call that I had the other day. So one of my clients, she is producing a video series, and I'm so excited for her because video series is my favorite thing to talk about. But she really wanted to figure out how do I make this content interesting to people outside of the fact that she's interesting. How do I make this content interesting? How do I make it something that people want to watch, people want to share, and people want to look forward to, essentially? And so I shared with her a few things that I'm going to share with you all here. Number one being, we talked about shareability immediately because that's a true content strategy, but I don't encourage us to focus on shareability as the number one thing, right? How do I make this content shareable? How do I make this content that people want to share? That is important, but naturally, if it is valuable, people will share it. If it is authentic, because people can tell, people will share it. If it gets people excited, people will share it. If they learn something from it, if they feel that it'll provide value to their audience, they will share it. So remove the idea of how do I make this shareable? The question is, how do I make this valuable? And how do I make sure that I'm being authentic in the content that I'm creating? So then we talked about conversation, right? So if she's gonna be having a conversation with her guests, which is great. I believe in her interview skills. It's really all about, having a conversation with the audience that's going to be watching. So, every now and then I encourage her to, yes, talk to her guest, right? This is me talking to her guest, but then look into the audience hey, what do you think about this? Is this something that you've all ever experienced? If you have, let me know in the comments below, right? Boom. That's a way to engage the fans and to build a relationship with them as well. We then talked about interactivity. So interactivity is different from having a conversation with the audience because now it's getting them super engaged. I think if you're interested in figuring out how to engage your audience differently, a great example is Watch What Happens Live by Andy Cohen on Bravo every weekday night, right? Weeknight. They have games. Him and his team create custom games for the people based on, who's coming on set. And it allows the audience to get engaged, especially that idea of, take a shot every time somebody says this word, right? So we really want to encourage the audience to not just have a conversation with us, but to engage with us and to engage with the content. The third thing is, and this is the most important thing, it's consistency. I've seen so many people have great content. It's super quality content, but then they only have one video. And I'm where's the rest of the content? By just having good content and doing it consistently, you allow your audience an opportunity to get to know you over time. And then we also get to prove to our audience and ourselves that we have gotten better and that we're consistent and that we're serious about it. So when you're creating video series or you're creating video content in general, in your strategy, it's important to figure out how am I going to make sure that I'm being consistent at this? And consistency can mean once a month, once a week, once every quarter, as long as you're doing it consistently and your audience knows when to expect something from you. Not to mention, doing something once and then doing it again and again, allowing yourself to get better, allows for, it's part of the process. Getting better is going to be a part of the process, so that if you can give yourself grace and be courageous and just doing something and then doing it again and again and again, you're going to win. You're absolutely going to win. So I'm really excited to share this with you. If this is helpful, if this has been helpful for you, please leave a comment below. Leave me a thumbs up. Leave me the praise hands. Leave me the, oh my my God, you know, whatever. I want to know if this was, you know, if this was helpful for you. But 3 things, just a quick recap. Shareability is cool, but like add value. So that's actually 4 things. How to have a conversation with your audience, figure out how to be interactive and be consistent. So if you like this, again, give me the emoji that's your favorite. And if you have questions for me and you want me to possibly answer your question here, shoot me a DM. I like to respond. Have a great Thursday.